Welcome to Hoystory On Air. It's election night. Uh, yeah, I polls just closed on the East Coast, or at least in Virginia. Shocker, shocker. Democrats, Spanberger won. The stealth lieutenant general candidate for Democrats won. The J. Jones Republican children killing attorney general wannabe, still too close to call. The fact that it's still too close to call says something about the Democratic Party. There should be little doubt that they just excuse it. I mean, Barack Obama showed up on the campaign trail, last minute rally over the weekend with Spanberger and Jay Jones, and said vote for the Democrat. I saw some exit polling on the issue. I think it was I'll find it online somewhere. I think the numbers were 25% found Jay Jones' comments disqualifying. 10% said they were not disqualifying. 25% of people in an exit poll in Virginia said that Jay Jones' comments that he wished that the choice between Adolf Hitler, Pol Pot, and the Republican Speaker of the House, who had just said nice things about a Democrat who had died, he put two bullets in the Republican, leaving Pol Pot and Hitler to go on their merry way. Then he doubled down and said that he hoped that the Republicans' children would die in their mother's arms because that would get him to change his politics. 25% exit poll said that was not disqualifying. 10% said it was just fine, or it was like troubling or not disqualifying. 10% said it was just fine. That's 35% of the people who voted today are okay with this violence. I mentioned the case yesterday of a woman running for city council in Helena, Montana, hoping that the Republican senator there, because he voted on yes on Trump's big, beautiful bill, she hoped that he got pancreatic cancer and that it spread so fast it couldn't be treated and that he died. This sort of language is okay. Why, I don't know, but apparently it is. Let me look here. I did have a couple of interesting things to go over. This one, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see it because I think Bumatai was in on the three-judge panel that did this. But three-judge panel, Ninth Circuit, says the Equal Rights Amendment is not part of the Constitution. Apparently, they don't buy the president can tweet it and it's okay way of putting things into the Constitution. That was President Biden. What amuses me about this was this guy was challenging the male-only registration requirement in the Military Selective Service Act. This harkens back, I will tell you a story. This harkens back to when I was working at the Mustang Daily at Cal Poly, the student newspaper there. And people there know I was conservative. And one was like she was the managing editor of the paper like the next year. But we were, reporters, and we had, class once a week, and it was kind of a breakdown of how the previous week had gone on the newspaper. And the class advisor was in there, and the debate was over women serving in combat roles. Yeah, so this would have been 1992 or 1993, one of those years. And this woman went on to be a professor at JC up in Washington State, if I recall correctly. journalism professor, said, "Oh yes, women should be in combat roles." Well, it goes on and on about this, and the class advisor, what do you think, Mr. Hoy? Expecting me to disagree, and honestly, I did disagree. But it's better if you can stick a little knife in the liberal, not figuratively, not literally. I said, sure, women can be in combat roles, as long as they register with selective service. And the thing is, in most of these journalism classes, we're probably 70-30 women. So men were a minority. It was a nice change from the engineering classes where you'd have like 26 guys and 4 women, to have, better odds for dating. Anyways, although most of them are liberals, you probably wouldn't want to date them. So I said, as long as they register for the selective service, and that woman who was all for women in combat roles says, well, what's the selective service? And I said to her, well, every male knows what the selective service is. That's the draft. So, oh, well, no. Well, we don't have the draft. I said, it doesn't matter. Every 18-year-old man in this country who's a citizen has to register with the selective service, or there's all sorts of, things that can happen to them down the line. Doesn't matter that we don't have a draft right now. You still have to register. She said, no, I don't want that to happen. Just if the women choose it. I'm like, well, then you really don't want equality, then, do you? Because men don't have that option. So I found this interesting. Liked it. Yeah. I'd be shocked, but not. I'd be shocked if they took this on bank and considered overturning it. I think this is, it's a joke. Anyways, saw this. This is from Paul Farhi, requoting this Blumenthal thing. Again, this is the Trump ballroom at the White House. And Farhi and I get into it at times on Twitter /X. This one I love. So Blumenthal says we're going to continue finding more of the ballroom donors who evidently don't want their names revealed. And let me name them: BlackRock, Susquehanna International, NVIDIA, OpenAI, Vantiv, and Extremity Care. If they think this is a way to get, and this is my Dias touch, I hate those guys. If they think this is a way that these companies think it's a way to get the Trump administration to go easy on them in regulatory issues and that sort of thing, it'd be nice if it wasn't. The problem with a lot of the federal government today is it's too big, and you've got to pay to play. If you want to get things done, you've got to donate money to the right lawmakers. You've got to have former lawmakers or former bigwigs in the civil service in each of these agencies kind of guiding your way. So that people who are working in the government know, hey, when I get out, I can, switch over to this and make some serious money. Wouldn't be surprised if they thought that they could benefit from donating to this. That troubles me a little bit. But comparing this to the Clinton Foundation thing, this is, you're comparing apples and oranges a little bit. The Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, and they're getting money from foreign nations, which, similar sort of thing, but this money is going to a building on the White House grounds that is still going to be there unless, they take Swalwell's pledge to destroy it just out of a fit of pique because Trump built it once a Democrat gets in office. Trump ain't taking this with him. That Clinton Foundation was pretty much a slush fund. It was a way to keep the Clintonites, employed while they were out of power, while Obama was in power. I'm pretty sure that Chelsea got a stipend from him. I'd be surprised if she didn't. And it was a slush fund. If it turns out that some of this money for the ballroom goes in Trump's pocket or goes, something like that, okay. But this comparison is just kind of lame. But that's what we expect. Couple more things to say. First off, I'm thinking that I'm here in California. Every indication is that Prop 50 is going to pass easily. Doesn't surprise me. It's California. Anything you can tag to Trump and getting back at him, you get 60%, 55-60% of the people in this state are all for it. I will be shocked if it's close. If it's close, it will still pass because they play games here in California. It will take them a month to count it, and you will see Democrat after Democrat operatives going in and curing any ballots that may, the signatures don't match or this, that, or the other thing. They'll find the votes. It's not going to go down here in California. What the relief is I will stop seeing those Barack Obama and AOC and Elizabeth Warren ads saying you've got to vote for democracy by getting rid of the independent districting committee and putting more Democrats in Congress. So they might get 5 more seats. The scary thing is and it wouldn't surprise me if they did this. It's supposed to go back to the independent districting committee next time the next census rolls around, which is 2030. I'm not going to hold my breath for that. Having said that, somebody's been floating around Twitter a map for redistricting in California. It's not the one we're voting on now, but it's one that would give Democrats an advantage, registration advantage, in every single congressional seat in the state. I live in the Central Valley. I live between Fresno and Visalia, in a rural area. And I will tell you, my congressman, if that map became law, would probably be a Democrat, and their district lines would run this little sliver that would grab just the southern part of the Bay Area, like around San Jose, grabs that and just kind of slithers down, gets that high population area, and then gets a bunch of nothing until it grabs a chunk of the Central Valley. And there's like 5 or 6 of districts that are like that, where they're grabbing just a little sliver of the Bay Area and then working their way down and grabbing a big chunk of the Central Valley. It may only be a D2, D3, D4 seat when they do that, just based on the past presidential election. Republicans could still have a chance in those borderline seats, but it's stacked against them. And it wouldn't surprise me if they went for that. It would not surprise me at all. What else we got? New Jersey governor's race. Some people think that the Republican Citarelli's got a chance. I don't know. With how easy it was to call Virginia, I'm not sure New Jersey's going to go for a Republican. It's an off-year election. Trump's been in office 9 or 10 months. I wouldn't be surprised for the Democrats to take that one again. Last thing, it's Democrats will take New Jersey. What was the last thing I was going to talk about? I don't know. The government shut down. One of the, let me see if I got this on the other screen. Punchbowl News on Twitter. See if I can find this. Wasn't that long ago. Maybe they're retweeting it. Here it is. Trump will meet with all GOP senators at the White House tomorrow on the latest on finding a deal to end the shutdown. It's probably going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow or by Friday. I bet you by Friday the government's back open. Mainly because the Democrats wanted to close to hurt Republicans in this. Again, that one of those exit polls out of Virginia show that many Virginia voters blame the Republicans for the shutdown. So they've been listening to Democrats. Again, every time this happened in the past, this is the first time where where we've needed a few Democrat votes to get it across in the Senate. And demands for a clean continuing resolution. So it's continue funding levels at the same level we have now. Every time previously, it's the Democrats who needed a few Republicans to pass a clean CR, and Republicans were holding out because this was the leverage they had. Democrats are saying the same thing this time. Oh, we're holding out because this is the only way we have leverage. And Republicans got massacred in the media over this. Just, this is Republican shutdown, blah, blah, blah. Even though Democrats never, came part way or never, gave them some little sop to get 4 or 5 of them on board or, whatever it took to get to 60 in the Senate and get it passed. So now it's reversed. And you've got a bunch of people on the left who are still blaming the Republicans. I saw a former colleague of mine who worked at the Union Tribune newspaper early on saying this is the Republicans' fault. And I just sat there and it's like, I strongly believe and suspect that the other 12 or 13 times this happened and the roles were reversed, that she was blaming the Republicans then too. That's what you get with journalists. Not a whole lot of consistency. We'll see what happens. It's politics continues. We will. I hope to talk to you later. Tomorrow we'll go over some of what's passed. We'll see if Democrats in Virginia are okay with electing a guy who wants Republicans dead as the chief law enforcement officer in the state of Virginia. And it's not like the guy he's running against, Jason Miyares, is a Trump sycophant. Trump didn't endorse him. He's said repeatedly Biden won the 2020 election, which is enough to earn Trump's ire. So this guy, you can't tag him with that and say, the guy who wants to kill GOP, Republicans' children is better than that. We'll see what you got to say for yourself, citizens of Virginia. I hope that Jay Jones is a bridge too far. I hope it's a bridge too far. Again, subscribe, like, tell your friends, tell your enemies. On my little post where I clipped out part of one of these live things and put it up about the whole Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes anti-Semitic deal. Don't know how it got out there on the left, but it got out there on the left, and apparently, and if you are the person who's supposed to do this, get in contact with me. Apparently, someone in the comments there said that because of my kind of pro-Israel stances and pro-Jewish stances, that must have been paid $14,000. I have not received that check in the mail. If you're old-fashioned, I have not received that via Venmo or PayPal. But if you are the person, if you are the Jewish person who's in charge of sending out that money, please get in contact with me, hoystory@gmail.com, and I would love to get that money. It would really help buy some nice things for Mrs. Hoy. Want to get started on kind of doing our backyard, and $14,000 would really help. I'm willing to do additional ones at a discount. So I'll say more nice things about Israel and the Jews for $7,000 a post or a podcast or whatever this is. So again, get in contact with me. I can really use the money. Otherwise, we'll see what's happening. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll see where all the chips have fallen. Thanks for joining me.